Aloha, everyone. I hope you're having a good evening on the West Coast and a good morning to you if you're on the East Coast because you're probably watching it in the morning. Anyway, it wasn't that bad of a session, even though it was kind of ugly. The New York Stock Exchange sold off on volume slightly lower than the day before. Volume was below average. So overall, it's not horrible. We're still above the 50-day moving average, but we've had a lot of red bars lately after a lot of green bars, and I'd say it's only about balancing it out. So overall, the New York Stock Exchange is a little scary here, and as well as the S&P 500. S&P 500 closed below the 50-day moving average, but it's still above the lows of this October session. If volume would have been above average today, it would not have needed to eclipse those lows to have the model switch back to neutral in the S&P 500. Instead, since it's not below those lows, volume is below average. This index remains under a buy signal. The Dow Jones Industrial Average remains under a neutral signal, but it is nearing a switch to the sell signal. Another sell-off or a rally and then another heavier volume sell-off at the 50-day moving average, let's say, will definitely switch this model to sell. The NASDAQ, as you can see, well above the 50-day moving average. Volume was lighter than the day before today. Everything's fine there, still under a buy signal. Russell 2000 still trending nicely above the 50-day moving average. Ugly day today, but it isn't horrible yet. Still under a buy signal. That being said, we did have some sells today. However, none of them failed horrifically. Toyota Motor finally failed today. TXTR did not last long as a new long, as that failed today, closing below the intraday low of the signal date, which was 41.17. A close at 40.40 does that. ACRX is a full sell, as now following the buy signals and then the pocket pivot point signals, it's now reversing lower on heavier volume below the 50-day moving average. Therefore, that one is a full sell signal. And then LinkedIn, our buy point was right around here with the breakout to new highs. And as you can see, where it's not doing anything, we're down now about 5%. It's a decent sized position. The heavier volume sell below the 50-day moving average. 237.21 close. 237.21 closes below the low a day of the 237.22 breakout day. So this is a pretty easy full sell signal, especially with the red bop. UCBI is closing below the 50-day moving average for the first time ever, so that's a 25% sell signal. And EVR is selling off below the 50-day moving average on heavy volume with red bop. That's a 50% sell signal. And all of this selling in the market lately has caused the volatility index to spike. And now it's up near the 20 level. Back in June, when we had that spike, as you can see here, it unleashed a very nice 12% rally in the NASDAQ. Are we going to see another 12% rally in the NASDAQ now that we're here? Possibly. We're even higher, so maybe we see more. It is getting quite fearful out there. However, let's say this is the beginning of a crash. If that is the case, and we're going to have all of these long positions that we own erase a lot of their gains, I want to go ahead and get hedged here. Therefore, the remaining capital in my account as of tonight, which is a little over 5%, is going to be placed in UVXY. So 5% plus of my account capital goes into UVXY. If it doesn't work, great. The final cut loss is close below the 37.90 level. If you have huge balls, you can go ahead and use the low day of the session before or the 50-day moving average. Me, if it closes below 37.90, I'm out of this position. So overall, I was going to risk a lot, but I am very long here. And if the market does continue to sell off, there's going to be a lot of gains that are going to try to be wiped out. So I definitely want to be hedged in the most extremely potent volatility vehicle possible, and that's UVXY. But that's it for tonight, everyone. Have a great Tuesday and the great rest of your upcoming week. Aloha.